Okay, so then we want, it was the display thing that was causing problems.
Yeah, what if we do share screen, if we can find it? It's this one. So that'll be on the presentation, but I still can't get it to display on the.
Oh, it's still not showing there.
That's what's not. And so it keeps me.
Okay. Well, you want to go to class, but
Like it's trying to find it.
But she would.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, right on, the I told her, I said that maybe that much. One thing that I got really excited about.
display settings is of course not,
I did the source search and
Yeah.
I tried USB display. So it keeps.
At one of the jackets, it's so large. And I'm like, let's just come out.
That's not it.
Okay. Oh, that had that meeting.
Yes, which.
well,
So it's showing some screen because I can see the PowerPoint is up. You see that PowerPoint is up at the bottom, but it's not.
I just
Pulling it up.
It's not pulling it up.
something that,
okay.
yeah, it gives her a little thing to do.
Well,
I have it on my Surface. I don't know how that would work. No idea how that would work with connected closes. Would you that on?
What if we just connect this with another device? Will it still be, because we shared this with Zoom, if we just connect the projector with,
oh, to her surface.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, that could probably work.
and then I can USB
Yes, it does. It has a.
or HDMI.
It's.
Oh, it's up here.
Yes, because I haven't ever plugged it,
Or is that
but I'm
the USB?
assuming
That looks like a USB.
that it's.
Okay, let me stop.
Oh, there's different cords too now.
Of course.
Yeah.
Here's what, so basically, when we had it plugged into the projector, it wasn't, would not pull up what was mirror, it was not mirror or display, but we had to extend the display, tried all the different options. It wasn't
Here,
actually,
let's try it again.
okay. But if you have. We're on Zoom, we had that part down.
So it's finding a computer, but it's not projecting or.
So. Worst case scenario also is if this is available somewhere we can print it out, we could print it out and hand it to people. They get a hard copy.
Yeah.
How do I get it to go?
They should we dragged it onto the computer.
Yeah, it is on a computer, yeah.
And I can
Strange.
just.
Oh.
It's not on HDMI. So
But it
it's
says
full.
it's on HDMI. You see?
Where is the select?
It's in this one.
Okay.
CMT's participation building.
Well, absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah, so see if HDMI.
Normally you wouldn't have to do anything.
I'm not going to read it anytime, so I'm going to go ahead, but feel free if you need to send it to somewhere to have printed, we can make hard copies. Okay, so send it off to the office. Sorry, guys.
All right, sorry about that.
No,
We
it's
can,
okay.
we're still zooming and it's recording. So the only other thing I think of is, and you said you don't have a USB for that.
No, I don't.
The tech being complicated.
Let's see, then.
We are on Zoom, so if anybody does.
No, I don't have an HDMI.
Ironically, if you go back and watch it later, you'll be able to see the slideshow because it's on Zoom, so there you go. It's showing up there.
It is showing up there, so if you,
Okay.
so sorry today for the technical difficulties.
Okay. It usually works, I don't.
We've got 3 people on it who still can't figure it out. So we are sharing the screen, so it'll be recorded. So welcome everybody to the Third Sunday Forum. And we have Lori today from SEMCIL, who will give us a presentation on all the wonderful offerings that SEMCIL provides for us.
Open this up. Oops. Okay. Good morning, everyone.
I'm gonna have you talk right into that mic,
Perfect. Is that better?
a little bit closer.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay. I might be able to just talk just as loud too, but. All right, thank you for having me. I'm here representing SEMCIL. And I met a SEMCIL alum already since I've been here. We used to work for SEMCIL, so that's pretty exciting. I like that. SEMCIL stands for the Southeastern Minnesota Center for Independent Living. And I'll start out with just telling you a little bit about SILS. If you haven't heard of us, that's kind of normal. People typically find out about us when they've been referred to us from somewhere, or they're reaching out. They're researching services and they find us that way. We'd like to change that by getting out. So more about who we are. So just in conversation with your friends and family, you know something about us, and you can refer people on that way as well too. So centers for independent living are found in all 50 states here. States are mandated to have them, but we all are independently owned and operated. We're operated on all levels of our agencies with individuals that have disabilities. So we're required, in order to be a SIL, you are required to have 51% of your staff identify as having a disability. And what I mean by identify is that you tell us what your disability is. We don't require any type of doctor's note. You don't have to be qualified for social security disability. And we know disabilities are wide and varied and vast. And if there's a barrier that prevents you from being as independent as you would like to be, you can come to SEMCIL and we can help you try to figure that out. What is it that you need? What do you need to connect with? Services in the county, in our county or in our state, whether it's us that can provide that or someone else. And we are consumer led. So individuals set the direction and they lead every action to accomplish their goal. So you can come to us, tell us what your goal is. You may be here, your goal's here, but how do I figure that out in the middle? So we help navigate that. We do with, but not for. Our individuals we serve have a big voice in how independent they see themselves living. And we're all about community living. So we want people to stay living in the community if that's their choice. And we help connect the supports to be able to do that. Now, community living is good for everyone, communities, individuals, families. So we help individuals continue to stay there. We also we help individuals that may be in an institution, post-injury or illness, get back into the community. How do I do that? What does that look like? How do I set up services if I need that? So that's a little bit about SILs. Oops, I'm gonna go down to the next slide here. Keep on track where I'm at. So in Minnesota, we have 8 centers for independent living. Well, like I mentioned before, we're all individually owned and operated. So SEMCIL serves the entire southeastern corner of Minnesota. We serve 11 counties throughout the state of Minnesota, all in southeastern Minnesota. If you're an individual that didn't live in one of those counties and you called us for services, we would connect you with the SIL that does serve you. So we never ever say, you know, I don't know, talk to you some other time. We don't do that. If we don't do it, we figure out who does and we send you that direction. So you have that information and you can get the information that you need and the services that you need. We also work with the Disability Hub. If anybody's heard of the Disability Hub MN. They are a call center based service. We co-facilitate that with DHS. They are staff with benefits specialists. So it's a free service. It's a phone call, anything related to disability, whether it be housing, it's your benefits, any question. There's no wrong question for the hub. Their level of training that they do in regards to benefits is very deep. They do deep dives into people's benefits with them to help them understand what their options are, what their current benefits are. If there's something that they're not understanding, there's forms they have to fill out. They don't understand that. Hub helps individuals understand because knowledge is power. So when you understand it, you can advocate for yourself better. Down to the next slide. Now I'm going to get into, keep losing my my cursor. There we go. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the core services. So I talked about how we're all individually owned and operated, but we have to provide this 5 core services all of us do in order to operate as a center for independent living. Information and referral, I talked a little bit about that. You call us, you have a question, we might refer you on to another agency, help you start that conversation when you make that phone call. So it's not just about, well, here's the number, call it. We can help you start the conversation. Well, what do I ask? This might be an opening line to ask to explain your situation. So you don't know what you don't know. So we're here to help fill that gap. We also do independent living skills training, which is all individualized and goal oriented, whatever the individual's goal is. We work with that. We work with that individual and it's all outcome based. Peer support. So AKA the power of the peer. Who knows better about what you're going through than another individual that has a similar situation? So we do a lot of connecting people with a peer to have those conversations, and it's pretty powerful. We do individual peer one-on-one, we do support groups, and we put on workshops as well. That's 3. So the 4th one is individual and systems advocacy. Individuals learn the skills to advocate for themselves and make informed choices. So we are here to help assist that and navigate and help individuals learn how to advocate for themselves, not only on the level of advocating maybe just with your employer, with a teacher at school, all the way up to the Capitol and systems advocacy. And I'm talking about disabilities and being part of that as well. And then we all have to provide transition services. So that is, we have a big transition program for youth and young adults. So we're working with kids in high school to adulthood to prepare for that, disability or not, as if you're a parent, you do that with your kids. And I also know as a parent that I can say the same thing someone else does, and they're not gonna believe me, but they might say, oh, yeah, that's right. So, you know, that old saying, it takes a village, is really important. So we are in schools, working with individuals, helping to make that transition. I'll talk a little bit more specific about services with that in a little bit. And then, like I said before, we do transition services from facility back home, whether it's nursing home, maybe an individual's in there for rehab for a while and there's services they need to set up in order to get back home. Group home individuals that want to explore moving back into the community and being more independent. We help explore that, lay out those options for them, with them, so they can make an informed decision if that's going to really work for them. So those are the 5 core services. Then we all do more. So SEMCIL does, we have a community access program, we have an assistive technology program, and we have a PCA department as well. And I didn't, for the people watching virtually, I apologize, I didn't get my slides going there. There's an overview on my slide. I have had an overview of all the different services that we provide. I was going to look at it and read them all off to you. And I'm going to, so independent living skills, we talked about that a little bit. Transition services, we help individuals. We do have a Chromebook and iPad loan program. So if you're an individual that aren't able to connect virtually, we can loan those devices out to you to use for up to 3 months to maybe it's connecting with providers, doctors, teachers, job applications, interviews, that kind of thing. We do IEP and systems advocacy as well. We help parents understand the IEP process, what it is that they are able to, can expect from the school, and help. We review IEPs and we just work with a lot of information with that. It's a very complicated system and it's very overwhelming for parents. So we just kind of help navigate that process as well. All right. Let me get my screen. Maybe I can read this. I'm there. I think I got it okay now. Okay. All right, a little more about the our biggest program. So that is transition aid services. So we talked a little bit about that already, and I wanted to just give you some examples of what that looks like. So transition age is ages 14 to 22. We can provide services one-on-one. So all of our services, if somebody comes for services to SEMCIL, that call us, we meet individuals where they need to be met. So it could be in their home, it could be out in the community, at the library, it could be at SEMCIL. We're in the schools meeting individuals as well, kids. So it can be group settings. During the summer, we have transition age programs where we do classes. We have a big program during the summer, so that's a group setting. But we do a lot of one-on-one with individuals as well. And then, like I said, we can meet you where you need to be met. So we travel. So that's important for individuals. Some of the examples is navigating from high school to a post-secondary setting. What does that look like? What do I need to do to get there? What are the forms I need to look at? How do I even explore that to begin with? So we help individuals navigate that. Transitioning to a first job. Within that, there is interview skills that we work on. We do a lot of mock interviewing to prepare young people for that. We look at how to fill out applications. Just anything that you could think of that would have to do with getting that first job. We explore that with kids and help them transition into that. Obtaining a driver's permit. We have a working relationship with the DMV where the test is administered at SEMCIL in a group setting with accommodations. We hear a lot of individuals that will call the DMV for an accommodation, whether it's needs to be read out loud, or whatever that accommodation is, and they don't always accommodate that like they should. So we, the DMV comes to us. So kids, we do it in a group setting after we've gone through the permit preparation. We have a 6-week course with kids that we go through that permit. We do practice tests at the end. And then the day of the test, they come in, we do a review for 45 minutes, and then the test is taken with the GMV. And then even learning to ride a bus. Maybe they're not interested in driving, or they just don't want to get their permit. But you need to navigate the city to survive. So with jobs and just groceries and all of that. So we help individuals to go out with them and help them learn how to ride the bus, ride the city bus. So those are some of the things that kids come to us, young people and youth come to us for. And then independent living skills of all ages. So there's no age limit at all. We just, whatever your goal is, we work that goal to help you. Some of the popular topics that people come to us for is budgeting skills, transportation, time management skills, organization, housing searches, cooking, and also smart consumerism. We talk about healthy relationships, and we have curriculum for that. And then again, post-secondary navigation and employment as well. So those are some of the popular topics that people come to us for, but we don't have a menu of services within the aisle, independent living skills. It is whatever you come to us, it's something that you're struggling with, and there's a barrier for some reason, and you're having a difficult time navigating that. We can help with that. We are also skilled in benefits advocacy. We talked a little bit about this before, but we can't qualify individuals for programs within the county system or anything like that, or the Social Security or Social Security disability or Medicaid, but we can help. We're really good at, like the hub, exploring that with you, explaining what your options are, what you may qualify for, what you may not qualify for, so that you have informed the information to make those informed decisions. And then our community access program, which I'm a part of, so that's my niche, which I love to do. So I won't bore you with everything, but I'm always really excited to talk about it. But so part of our access program is we're out in the community. Individuals will call us and say something like, maybe I have a MS that's progressing. I want to continue to live in my home, but it needs to be made accessible. I don't have any idea what that looks like. I come out, I can do a home assessment. I can look at what those barriers might be. I listen to what your limitations might be mobility wise, what you're interested in seeing. And again, you don't know what you don't know. So there's information I can provide that will help make your home more accessible so you can continue to live there. I can help. We don't have funds or monies, but we can help if that's something that you're looking for or needing. We can help you explore those options. What agencies can I tap into for that? There's county programs that have to do with making your home more accessible with very low interest loans. So we can explore all of that as well with you. We have a ramp program. So our SEMCIL ramp team builds ramps. We have wooden ramps, metal ramps, those cost of course, but we build them to ADA specifications. We do a lot of ramps in the 11 counties that we serve. So if anybody's person's interested in a ramp, what that would look like, how much is that going to cost? We're happy to come out, evaluate for that, give you some information on that, some pricing. So whether it's happening now or 5 years from now, you're just needing that information, we're happy to give that to you and provide that for you. We also do installation of grab bars and shower bars, sliding shower bars that are more accessible. So we do those types of things. We don't do entire bathroom modifications, but that is one thing that I work with families on. And I work with contractors and making those connections with contractors, being there when the contractor is there to make sure that the disability lens is seen Because it's different when you're modifying your bathroom for accessibility versus you're just upgrading things. You're not necessarily looking at cabinetry in a certain color or shiny hardware. You want beautiful space that's functional and accessible with whatever your disability is. So I help navigate that process as well and work with contractors through that process with homeowners. And talk a little bit more about our assistive technology program. So we have an AT lab at SEMCIL. Anyone is free to call us up to come in and have a tour of that. So it's filled with accessibility, different accessibility devices, everything from a pourer where you put a milk jug in and you can just flip it like this and it pours into your cup, versus if you were unable to grasp and lift up that handle. Cutting boards, all the way up to nutritional feeding devices that we have a robot, an OB robot that calibrates and can feed. So now you have an individual that used to be, the family had to provide the nutrition and feed that individual. And now this person can sit at the table, everyone can eat together, and this individual can use the OB robot. So we don't sell them. It's not a for sale thing. It's for you to try it. You can loan them out for 30 days or 45 days now. It's a free device loan, so you can try it before you buy it. How do you know if it's going to necessarily work? You may have a good idea, it might, but until you get it in your home, to try it to see if it's going to work for you before you spend money on that. We can also help you find an entity that might sell that device and help you explore that and help you that way as well. So we have silverware that's bulked up or larger on the end, all kinds of different hearing, our low vision and blind and low vision folks. We have lots of different devices for them, for that group of individuals, and a lot to do with computers as well, all the way down to different kind of reachers to reach and pick things up. So low tech, like grippers and things to help you open up different devices, to high tech, like an OB robot. But if there's, it's a vast and varied world of assistive technology, and it's changing constantly. We also have a relationship with the Minnesota STAR program, who serves the entire state of Minnesota. So if we don't have a device that you might be looking for, we can source it from Minnesota STAR program. So you can loan it out. We get it to SEMCIL, you loan it out 45 days, see if it works for you. And then you bring it back to us, and then we can discuss how we can help from there. We can help you source it from somewhere. If there's a grant program that might help purchase that and help navigate that whole process as well. It's pretty amazing. And again, sometimes you don't know either what it is. You might call us up and say, I need something, I'm having a hard time gripping. I don't know what device might be out there, but can you help me? Yes, we can. Come on in, take a look at what we have. We can demonstrate it for you. See if you want to take it home and try it out. Don't ever be afraid to connect with a SIL just because you're not quite sure what you're asking for. Start that conversation, and individual SILs are, people at SIL are trained to help you figure that out and ask the right questions so we can help you move forward and be as independent as you choose to be. We also don't do anything with an individual that they don't want to do. For instance, we'll have parents call up and say, you know what, my son needs this, he's got to do this, this is what he's got to do. And as parents, we know that feeling, but we will have a different conversation with the individual, because we're about choice as well. And sometimes just having that other person have the conversation helps them get that direction. So, but if halfway through they say, you know what, this is not for me, then we're out, because we're not going to make anybody do anything we don't want to. All right, last but not least is our boundless indoor play space. I don't know if you've heard about it yet in the news, or if you've driven past on Superior Drive out by the newest Hy-Vee that's up out there. It's in that area. There's a big building going up. So SEMCIL is building a fully accessible indoor play space that's for everyone. There's no age limit or minimum age limit. There's, of course, playground structures for young kids, but it's for anybody. I mean, we know there's parents, grandparents that may find it difficult to navigate out on that playground with their grandkids. Like, it's hard to walk across that uneven ground. That's not necessarily safe or a fall risk. Bring your grandchildren, bring your kids in to play in this space so everybody can play together. We've got transfer seats on our slides, so individuals that ride chairs can transfer onto the equipment. We've got slides that are 6 people wide, so kids with their providers can go down at the same time. On the perimeter of the interior of the building, there's a ramp system that goes from the top floor to the bottom floor. So within that ramp system is play spaces along the way as you go down in. So it's great it's gonna be a great walking path if you're an individual that's walking. There's going down, coming back up again for the inclines. There's a full-size basketball court that's within the play space. There's a turf area that's gonna be there as well. We have a quiet space that we're building for folks that just need to take a break and have some quiet time before they come back out again. We're gonna have an AT room as well, where assistive technology will come in and out of there, so you don't just have to come to our building to see it. You can see it while you're at Boundless as well. We're gonna have a sensory area as well, that's within its own space. And there'll be party rooms, picnic areas. There'll be a daily, monthly, and an annual membership options. Party rooms will be available. So it's something, it's the largest space in the region, but there's nothing like it. It's fully accessible. So everyone, universal accessibility, so everyone can be in the space at the same time, no matter what your disability is. That's our goal. And hoping someday that others will take from what we've done and build that as well. So instead of calling it an accessible space or an accessible playground, we're just going to the playground, but we know it's accessible for everybody. So that is our big new news that's happening. We're looking at opening this fall, not sure on a date yet, but that's what's going on with that. So that is the extent of my presentation. Does anyone have any questions for me? Yes.
That play or accessible play area, did you
Yeah.
say the name was Boundless?
Boundless.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yep. Boundless. Yes.
Yes, would you be able with this, I guess, building and the SEMCIL product, be able to, you don't have to be real ID for 2025? There are people coming from different states that need the,
Is your question, can anybody, no matter where you live, come?
yeah.
Yes.
Fellowship, you know.
Yes.
Having
It-
access to get that.
Yes, so it'll be different than services for SEMCIL. It's not where you have to live in our county. It is for everyone, anywhere. When we're at a family, come into SEMCIL last week to tour our accessible spaces, and they were from Pennsylvania. And we talked, so I gave them the tour. We talked, they brought me some pictures of their home. We talked about access needs, ideas that they could do in their home. But then we also talked about Boundless. So while they're here for appointments, they come 4 times a year, they've got a place to go with their kids. So any time of the year, it's gonna be open 7 days a week. I don't know that we're gonna be even closed, maybe Christmas, otherwise we're gonna be open all year long. So anybody, yes,
I've actually got 3.
yes.
So is there any cost for this playground? And then you talk about homeowners and doing that home assessment,
Yep.
but do you work with landlords?
Yes,
Okay, and then I'm wondering about, do you find for some of those assistive devices that medical assistance covers?
yes, all of that, yes. So
Okay. Cost of the playground.
cost of the playground, yes, there'll be a fee for the playground. There'll be daily, monthly, yearly memberships. SEMCIL services, there's very few things that cost for us. Now, if you're building a ramp, that's gonna cost. There are some individuals that are waiver supported through the county, so there's fees involved that waiver supports for different things that we do. We do full assessments, that will help gear what individuals need to learn to be able to be more independent. So those are like really involved. So there's fees for those kinds of things, but just calling us up, working with us one-on-one on a goal, there's absolutely no fee for that. For anybody, if you don't have to qualify, an income range or anything, it's all, we don't even ask that. We don't verify any of that. We're different than a lot of other agencies. So we fill a gap that's really needed, and we don't duplicate services. So we're doing services that other agencies are not doing. And so the fee for the playground, that's for profit, but SEMCIL is a nonprofit, the nonprofit side. So there'll be fees for that, similar to going into the, I guess, like, there's a trampoline place. I can't think about the name of it, but kids go, Air Insanity. So you pay to get in. So it'll be like that. They're working on structures like caregivers, having so many individuals with them and what that price would look like. It's not a full price or something. There'll be scholarships available. But yep, there will be fees for that. But not on the SEMCIL services side. We never charge, there's very few things that ever cost anything. Assistive technology devices, yes, there are Medicare, Medicaid, MA, there are definitely avenues for that. Now, not everything, but we're really good at figuring that out and how to, we can't scoot any regulations, but we can help figure that out. Will it not? Talk to case managers if there's a case manager involved, or help you have that conversation with your insurance company to figure that out. But yeah, there's medical, some of it falls under durable medical equipment. So yes, some of it is can be purchased and that cost can be absorbed by insurance companies. Not everything, but it does definitely, there is that works that way. What was your third question?
Landlords.
Yes.
Do you find that they're receptive?
Yes. So, with landlords, they're typically always agreeable because it helps them in the long run as well. Now, if you make a modification within your apartment or your townhome, they can require you to put it back to the way it was when you move out. They can require you to do that, but typically they're all very receptive. Even I work with waiver supported individuals that have modifications done, and I have yet to have a landlord say no. They just want to know and be in the loop. And then when it comes time to do the construction piece, the modification piece, they have to sign some stuff that says yes, because they're actually the owner of the building. But we've put up ramps and we've had, tubs taken out, put in walk-in showers, grab bars, accessible roll under sinks. Typically, they're very receptive. So we help have that conversation with the individual to help get that supported. So yeah, very, very good question. Very good question. Yes.
Do you have to have officially diagnosed disability to receive?
No, you do not. Nope. You would identify, or you would tell us what that is, because we don't look at medical records. We don't require medical records. A really good question we get often is, I don't have Social Security disability. Can I still get services? Well, yes. I mean, to be qualified for Social Security disability, it's very specific. And we know there's many, many, many different diagnoses that prevent you from being as mobile as you want to be, or, illnesses, digestive tract illnesses. I mean, things that keep you out of work, but they're not going to qualify you for Social Security disability. So nope, we don't require any documentation, but you do have to tell us what it is that you identify as having. So I've had an individual once that had some mobility barriers. He wanted our services, but he would not say he would not officially go on record as saying he had a disability. So it was a stigma, which we work real hard to get rid of, because disability is a community that you could belong to at any point in your life, in a blink of an eye. So, and within that also, there's they're just, can't think of the statistics right now, but the individuals with disabilities in the United States is, there's lots of people that identify as having disabilities, so we don't require any documentation. You just come, you can do, but you have to tell us what yours is. But we don't call anybody to verify that. Yes,
I have two questions.
yeah,
One is, when I worked with SEMCIL for about 10 years, I worked with the information and some fibromyalgia support group.
Yep.
Do you still have support groups?
yep.
And the second question is, are you seeing people come in who've been discriminated due to, say, hidden disabilities at the workplace and who are fired and are covered by the ADA?
Yep, we do. I'm sorry, tell me your first question. Yeah. One more time.
Yeah, support.
Yes, support groups. Yes, we don't have a fibromyalgia one right now. We have an ASD group for adults 18 and older. And that's part of our peer mentor, peer group. It's peer led. It's a very robust group that's been meeting for a long time, and you don't have to register for it. It's the second Friday of every month, and you just need to show up. So that's the ASD, so individuals on the spectrum, the autism spectrum. There's a PTSD for veterans as well. And we have a blind and low vision support group currently that meets at SEMCIL. But we're always open to, for a while, we had a group of parents that wanted ASD group for younger kids. So for a while that ran really well. We had a lot of people interested, but it just kind of waned out. And so then we didn't do it anymore. So it fluctuates what we have. We're always open. If a community member has an idea, maybe they want to facilitate it, they want to use our building for it, we're happy to have that conversation and help put that together and hold that in our building as well. So yeah, and there's no cost involved in that. And then your other question about, we get a lot of people in the workforce that are trying to have conversations about accommodations with their employers. So we can have conversations with those individuals to tell them what their rights are, how to have that conversation, how to ask for those, what are things, absolutely they will not do, because if it's too costly, it's got to be cost effective for the company, that kind of thing. But if we also have people that will come and say they've been fired. So that falls into more of a legal aspect, and they're looking for more legal advice, which we do not give. So we send people onto the Disability Law Center, and they can have conversations with the Disability Law Center to figure out what their next step is and how that happened. And we have individuals that will come to us that are having in apartment buildings with their landlords, somebody stacking up stuff in the hallway and blocking access. And I've talked to the landlord a million times and I can't get through with my groceries and that kind of thing. So we help have those conversations as well. If it comes elevated to a level where it's a legal issue, then we're sending them on to the Disability Law Center. But yeah, we definitely get those questions in those situations with individuals. Good question. Yes.
If an individual has several things, are they assigned a case manager so they don't have to talk to a lot of different people?
Yep. So we have independent living coordinators. We call them aisle coordinators, and we all do. Some of us do real specific things, and others do a lot of everything. So you will be assigned. What happens is you call SEMCIL. SEMCIL will transfer to our referral line, or you'll call a referral line. You can call that directly as well. And then the individual that takes those calls will have a needs assessment conversation with you to find out what your asks are. And all that information gets put down, and then it goes off to our program manager, who will assign a coordinator that best fits that. So if you have multiple things going on, it's very likely that one coordinator is going to be able to help with all of that. But we're really good. We work really well with each other together. So we may, if it's aisle skills and housing search, you're looking for accessible housing, but you also want to be accessible housing. But if you have IELTS skills that you're looking for or AT you're looking for, but you also want access, then I may meet with you with your coordinator first. But we're really good. We all work really well together. Our system our program that we keep track of all of this services that we're providing, we each are privy to what's happening so that we can all work really well together. But it's not maybe two different people, if that, AT or access, but everything else, you'll have one independent living coordinator that will work with you.
So then you meet face to face.
Yes, yes. So we can meet however you'd like to be met. So if you want to do it virtually, some people say, I just want to do a Zoom meeting. Yep, we can do it that way. We come into your home and meet with you if you'd want to do it that way. Some people would prefer to meet in a neutral place, like at the library. We can do that, or you can come to SEMCIL. It's run by you, whatever we meet you where you need to be met. Yeah, good questions. Yeah.
We're getting about time, so if you're headed to the 11 o'clock service, you have like 1 minute
Okay.
to get up there, but if there's other questions,
Yeah.
we could have time.
There's a bunch of information on the back table. Because we do so many things, that's the hardest thing. If someone says, well, what's a SEMCIL? What do you do at SEMCIL? It's like, as you know, from this presentation, it's so hard to get it all out in one sentence. So there's back there's a number of different pieces of information. You can take one, you can take them all, look at them at home, review them. And then we have some boundless wristbands. And for our folks that need Braille, there's a Braille on the inside too, that says boundless on it, but you're welcome to take those any of that, if you'd like it. So if you have any other questions, you're sitting at home and you're like, I wish I would have asked that, just call us. There is no wrong question for us. So just give us a call. We're happy to talk with anybody. Yeah.
Question I have is support. Support comes for you to do that work free, basically.
Yep.
Where does that come from?
So
Separate
we're
state?
federally, state, and private donations. Yep, is how we're run. So we're state funded and we're state level funded, and we're also privately funded. And one of the things with one of the ideas with building our accessible park as well is that when you rely on those grant programs, sometimes they're taken away in the blink of an eye because it's whatever it's going on with the government. So our hope is that this will help us sustain also and grow bigger programs that can't be supported under that. So that's part of that as well. But the biggest thing about the boundless though is that just universal accessibility. So you can be everybody can be in the same place doing some of the same things, no matter what your disability is. So yeah, good questions.
How about age? Is that something?
Aging in place, like that? Yes. So I'm also, part of what I do is I'm certified also taking the courses and all that for aging in place. So yeah, that's very similar to somebody who has a progressive disability as well. What do I see in the future? So I feel it's very important to plan for that future because we get those phone calls from people that have had a hip roll or a knee replacement or something, and there's specific things they need in their home to be able to have access when they get home. But when you're in the rehab place, you're now behind to try to get that done, and your stay in that facility could be much longer. So thinking ahead, thinking about access, planning for that future, that's a big part of what we do as well. So yep, I do a lot of home assessments coming out and just talking about that as well. Yeah. And it's very specific to you, how you move around in your space too. Like the state of Minnesota has accessibility codes for construction, but residential homes are exempt from those codes, but we base all of our recommendation off those codes so that you can get the best access you can get. We also know that people's homes weren't built to think, well, next, if I need to use a walker or a wheelchair, I'm going to plan to build it just in case that happens. That doesn't happen. And bathrooms aren't, they're not large enough at times. So then we look at it as how can we get the most access? So what things can we do to make it better, even if it doesn't meet that code? So we work within your space and what's gonna work best for you. Yeah. We get a lot of information and sometimes, you know, it can be overwhelming, but again, it's your choice too. In the end, it's whatever you feel you want to do. We just want to provide that information so you can figure out your next steps. But good question. Yep.
How are you interfacing with the ARRP program that's here in Rochester?
So.
Which deals with, you know, aging and, elderly.
Yeah, so we're, you know, in the access program, we don't connect at all really. But our advocacy department, they have more interaction with that organization. So we have a advocacy and systems advocacy department, a couple of gals that run that reach out to organizations to see how we can all work together. So they are more active in that. If something comes down to us, that's very specific with us. That's something then that we'll go out and talk about and do whatever we need to do. But it's at a different level or a different department within our agency. Yeah, good question. All right. Well, I thank you all for being here. I appreciate your time. And again, if you have questions for us, please feel free to call us at any time. Except Saturday, Sunday, or calls, but you can even back there. Thank you.
All right.